I was wondering if they, okay, you could do that here too. Love that. Okay, that's great to know. Welcome, 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 returning and new subscribers. I am Goddess High Priestess Empress Adela Bandera. Welcome, beloved. Blissful 4-4 portal. This message is covered with the intention of transmuting any of the energies that you may find as though is suppressed at this time, so that way you can connect to the truth of the solution that's within you. But if there's a suppression of some type of energy that's preventing you from seeing that solution, this is what this message is for. The essence of Goddess Sheba Belquis and Archangel Gabriel has been coming up. So there could be some sort of secrets that are being revealed to you in regards to communication, or something in regards to some type of information that you are here to communicate with the collective. Now, some of you may encounter situations or experiences in order for you to unlock what that information is. Okay? Now, this is where you hear that statement, such and such isn't for the weak, whatever it may be, because those experiences are connected to what feels as though you have hit rock bottom, a breakdown, but that actually leads you into a breakthrough. Okay? We are currently in a Saturn hour as I'm doing this reading, the collective message, and you do have Mars. You do have Mars that's in a trine with Saturn that's in Pisces. Mars is currently in Cancer. So if you haven't listened to the previous message coming up to this moment, 4-4, definitely check that out because you'll have more information there. But this message is more so in regards to pulling a lot more cards, not a lot more, but just pulling the message and see what's going on with the collective. The key is to transmute the energy, okay? So that's what we're doing. If that's not something you're here for, skedaddle. Other than that, much love to all. Welcome. Let's get going. So when I picked up my tarot deck, these two cards were showing. The Hierophant and the Star card, 517. Looked at the clock, 519. It was 2 minutes before that, 517, when I had the thought of getting the cards. So 517 could be significant here for some of you. Let me see something. The Sun in Taurus will be conjunct Uranus in Taurus. Wow. There's a routine that you're going to be breaking free from, or habit that you have that you're going to be breaking free from, or you have those energies supporting you as of now. This 4-4 portal is helping you to see what it is that is deeply rooted first and foremost at your foundation, in order for you to see what's going to be best for you to move forward with in terms of building something a lot more solid. So if there are any type of habits that you have or anything that's been suppressed from now to the 17th of May, you're going to be given the cosmic energy and support to break from certain habits or routines that are not conducive to your success or the evolution of you. But this is also going to bring a freedom of your expression. So there goes Archangel Gabriel coming through here now, because Archangel Gabriel has a connection to communication. Something about the color blue, you wearing more blue is also going to help you with your throat chakra, because Taurus also has to do with the throat chakra. But as far as Taurus, furthermore, it speaks to the senses of your body. Whatever is giving you this sense of agitation, remove it. That's where the change has to happen, because it's causing a disruption in your journey. You're aware of this, or you will be made aware of this. It's important to handle these situations now, because with the sun in Taurus, May 17th, Uranus and Taurus, that conjunction, they're on the shadow side of it, or the low vibrational side of that, is that there's a higher chance of accidents occurring. So the main thing here is you want to trust what your intuition is guiding you to do. Okay? Some of you may be the type of person that a lot of your changes come through being forged by the fire. So you have to put yourself in situations in order for you to get to the bottom of it, especially if you're a fire sign. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. What's the message here for the collective? Surrender your fear of change. The universe is reminding you that you are cared for always. Whether you're afraid of a change in your job, your health, or a relationship, or if you're fearing aging or death, repeat the affirmation. I have faith that all is well. Surrender your ego and surrender to divine timings. Some of you want to control the outcome, and it's keeping you in a state of fear or seeing things not as they are. Why is that? Now let's get to the bottom of it. Surrender obsessive thinking. If you're obsessing about a person or situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. For some of you, you've been doing this, and this surrender to spirit could be alcohol. You want to be mindful of that, because it's actually adding to your obsessive thinking. If you're not going to use it in an alchemical way. It's the heart of it. Surrender low self-esteem. I just heard codependency. In situations because of codependency. It's time for you to surrender an experience you've already gained observation from. Surrender your ego. Surrender to divine timing. Comes up right after that. The moment you are able to surrender and experience that Nine of Wands energy that you constantly place yourself into, possibly because of a fear of expressing yourself and basically telling somebody the way it is. The moment you connect to your gut, you have the guts to stand in your power, is the moment you'll have your glory, where you can now surrender to divine timing. Another message is, the more you know about your natal chart, the less rushed you're going to feel. Because one of the things that a lot of these systems have been putting into place, such as the educational system, not saying that is good or bad, right or wrong, but in certain aspects, it has placed people into a position of competing with one another. Therefore, there's a lack of authenticity, where not many know who they are in the way that they are designed to move in this realm. 10-10 on the time. It's time to put an end to that. The more you know about yourself, the less controlled you'll be, and the less fear you have of any type of change, the more you will be in connection to the natural rhythm of life, because it's constantly changing. So to fear it, why be here? Some of you have been asking yourself, we getting down to it now, why are you here? To the point it puts you into this whirlwind, this spin, this depressive spin where you can't get out of it, but you're gonna get out of it here. Have your moments, but do not stay there. If you find that you cannot express yourself to a person because they are more defensive than they are receptive, that's not a person that you are to be around. Some of you carry a power, protection, a mission that you are literally people's karma, but you must first handle your own before you step into that mission. How we getting into a channeled energy? Is the moon in Cancer? Must be. Yes, it is. What degree? The moon is in Cancer. Currently at 13 degrees. So this is a message for certain type of men who lack of balance of their feminine, divine feminine energy, and they speak about women in a way. Doesn't matter whether this woman deserves that type of expression. But be very mindful. This is to certain men who have no idea of what a divine masculine or divine feminine energy is in terms of energy. So they're just operating from a second dimension, not even a third dimensional way of being. The channeled message is your time is up. Be very mindful as to the way you express yourself about women, regardless of what that woman has done to you, because that woman might be the same woman you was in the past life, and she's just a reflection of you. So to have an expression about her in a profane way that people call curses today is to curse yourself. This message is coming through because the moon is in Cancer. Whether that woman is aware of who she is, be very mindful as to the way one expresses themselves about her. That's not for everyone. Because some of you fellow empresses may be in situations where you have men that, long story short, have this this jealousy towards you. And this type of man would be a sassy type of man, not to be confused or misconstrued with a man that is in tune with his nurturing side and his feminine side. That sassy shit with the man and they call themselves straight, that's an example of somebody who probably intakes too much fucking soy. But for some of you empresses, this is part of your lesson in terms of and speaking as the channel warrior message now. They have to be very mindful as to the way they come across to you and towards you. Because when it's time for them to cross over and they meet you in the underworld, it is up to you whether they cross over or not. Divine Feminine. Some men out here have that lesson. And I'm speaking to that energy specifically right now because the moon is in Cancer. The moon was in Aries, will have obviously a much different energy coming through here. But that's just what's coming through right here and right now. Let's move into this. Surrender your fear, change. Surrender your fear, change. Nine of Cups. Fulfillment. Some of you are possibly holding on to something, an experience, because you're not sure if it's going to bring you emotional fulfillment. Well, yes, it is. The moment that you do release that, it will bring you that emotional fulfillment, especially with Venus and Mercury in retrograde right now. Venus is about to be in conjunction to Saturn, both in Pisces, and that's going to really bring you to a point where you have to sit down with Saturn, the disciplinarian that's going to sit there and ask you, do you see this? Is this something that matches your core values? Is this something that adds to the beauty in your life? If it doesn't, why is it still there? Why are you still allowing this to happen? And you're going to have to be honest with yourself. You're going to have to be honest with yourself. Because for each of you, this is going to happen in different areas of your life. For some of you, this could even have something to do with something that's more deeply rooted. If it's a parent, if it's a family member, whatever the case may be. You have to be honest with yourself in terms of these emotions that are coming up. What are you still holding on to that you know that's preventing you from trusting, first and foremost, in your divine alignment? That you will be emotionally fulfilled? But this has to happen first. Of letting go of something that no longer serves you. What's at the bottom? The Ace of Wands. For some of you, there's this sense of physical attraction you have to someone that you're not letting go of. And it's not connected to your divinity. It's just physical. It's time for you to set boundaries. Cut communication, because that's 7 in this one, 8 of Wands. It's time for you to cut communication with something here. Archangel Gabriel. You could be seeing, let's say you're looking at a billboard. Some of these billboards that have significant messages, there's a dominance of the color blue. For some of you, there are situations from your past coming back just so they can be cleared. Because you now have this maturity, this spiritual maturity to see beyond the physical. So some of you could be in this stage too, where you have released something that you've been holding on to. And that release is helping you to see what tether was connected, or what etheric cord was connected to that experience for you to get to the root of it so that you can handle it once and for all. Shit. There goes Saturn right there. That's Capricorn energy with the Devil card. Three of Wands, Sun in Aries. There's something here about the 3rd, the 30th, 21st. Labor Day. You've been putting in a lot of work in this situation and it keeps coming to a standstill. You keep feeling strapped or bonded to a situation that is not growing. Now, for others of you, the result of you actually letting go of an experience that you've already gained way beyond the max of the observation that is needed for you to surrender the situation once and for all. The moment that you do, there is a level of emotional fulfillment that is going to be so highly protected that even the darkest of entities are not going to allow you to get in your way, because it seems as though some of you are really supported by low and high vibrations in a way that you may not be aware of, and you're just operating from a low vibrational standpoint. Or the people that you connect to carry that low vibrational frequency, only for you to recognize this right here got to go. It's only showing up in your reality because it has to go. So let's say there's a situation that you've encountered, an experience that you went through, and you don't feel the best about it. But now let's really look at this situation. Where you are at now in experiencing that. Let's say you told yourself this is not something you're going to do and you did it anyway. But there's an unconscious, subconscious part of you that in doing that, you're now able to make the decisions that if you kept holding yourself back from it, you wouldn't see it. You wouldn't see the fruits of that labor per se, of that experience you put yourself through. Seeing that, beforehand, this is not something, because again, especially if you have a lot of fire placements in your chart, your best way of getting through situations is by going through that fire. Not everybody can do that though. So much so, certain people that are unable to handle that type of fire are on another side. They're not in this physical realm. Yes, we're going there in this messages, and that's usually what we do over here. But this is one of the messages that if you are someone who is sensitive to information, this is a disclaimer. This is not a message for you, but we are going to go there because it's time to transmute that energy. With this Venus and Mercury in retrograde, there's old love, old news about love that's coming into your life, that there may be cycles that are coming back that have to do with generational cycles. And you the one that's here to tear that shit up. Six, 25, 13, 6 and the 7, that's 13 right there. You're the one that's here to put an end to it. Whether you're prepared, that's not this part of this cycle anymore. Whether you're prepared, it's showing up for you to close it out. Okay? Surrender your ego. Cultivate gratitude. Because your ego, that's what it does. It puts you in situations that it may have you experiencing the sensations of guilt and shame and lies and this and that or whatever, only for you to evolve. You can either use your ego or it's going to use you. You're the one that's in control though, but you got to be mindful of that. You have to be aware of that. King of Pentacles, surrender your ego, King of Pentacles. Somebody's holding on to so much money, afraid. Somebody's holding on to money or some type of resource because they have a fear of losing. What's this? That's coming to an end. There's 13 of you in here now. There goes a 21. What's at the bottom? $13. Death, transformation. While you are on this fool's journey of the major arcanas, the first major arcana, or the major secret, arcana means secret, the first major secret of the macro is the Fool. 0. Once it reaches here, the conversation between that Fool and this here death figure on this white horse is telling it now. You've gone through the experiences that you've gone through before reaching here. In order for you to balance this situation out and turn that lead into gold, you're going to have to transform. You're going to have to dash away or dish off any type of belief systems that are not connected to the knowledge of yourself. Some of you are seeing white roses and lilies for that reason, whether if it's on somebody's shirt, a commercial, because it's time for you to transform. And it's not about you being whether you're ready. This is the moment. It has to happen. 2 of Swords. Not wanting to move, not wanting to take the blindfold off. Why? Because of, I'm hearing this, when this came through, it said false happiness. Someone is not prepared to see something as it is. This is an example of, let's say if 2 people are there's a couple, they're in a relationship, and someone gets this urge to leave without saying anything because something has happened around you, energetically, ancestrally, that you're unaware of. That the essence around you does have an awareness of it, may not even know fully what's going on, but they gotta go. And they will leave. For some of you, this is literally something that has happened to you in the past that is coming back up to the surface now. Let's say if there's someone that constantly comes back in your life, but constantly does the ghosting thing. As a true alchemist, use that. Don't let it burden you. Use it. When that energy comes back around and you have evolved, which I know you have because you wouldn't be over here. When that energy comes back around, whether if it's the same person or through another vessel, channel your serpent energy. We're in that 9 year for a reason right now. It's assisting you to channel that serpent energy. Stare at it, gaze at it. Become the charmer of that situation. Where now you're taking your power back. I said we going there. You see, because energetically, there is a lack of awareness of the type of energy that is here on this planet. To clear out anything that is of fear, guilt, shame, lies, attachments, delusions, all that. Anything and everything connected to that must go, and it is. Because it's time for you to build righteously. It's time for you to express yourself. It's time for you to connect with that which is connected to you, unconditionally loving the way you love yourself. It's time for that to connect with you. So anything that is not of that has to come back for you to recognize what it ain't. And what a time to be alive with Venus, Mercury in retrograde, with Pluto in Aquarius, Neptune in Aries, Saturn is on his way there, Neptune in Aries. You all know as an example of Neptune and Aries. Neptune and Aries, Neptune and Pisces, first and foremost, is it creates this reality of people still confused about their psychic spiritual abilities. With Neptune and Aries now, there's a, you know what I'm saying? You come up in this motherfucker stepping. You know who you are. Aries says, I am. In the sign of Neptune, Neptune having to do with the energy of dissolving, even more so that the galactic signature had to do with dissolving. The blue spectral monkey. I dissolve in order to play. There's a lot of energy flowing through right now. See, here's the thing. Here's the message I was getting from Source, riding through the underworld and the heavens, as within, so without. If they allow me to say it. Not yet. Because the energy is intense. It's beautiful, though. Bring it back. What was it? There it goes. Some of you are being placed in positions of, let's say, cutting cords. But this is a cord you may have been apprehensive about cutting because it's not a lightweight type of cut cord. It's sending that ass back to their maker type of cut cord. It's a simple task of cutting a cord, but in giving the energetic consent to do so, There's a reason why some of you been holding off from situations. I see what this is. There's a reason why some of you been holding off of situations, because you have a certain type of power that people don't realize, that when you cut them off, you're not just cutting them off from just experiencing you. You're cutting them off from an existence of life. And you're very aware of that. Some of you, this is why you're afraid, or you had this level of fear that was connected to you in terms of doing certain things, even when it comes to just a thought. When I tell you about a cut cord, don't gotta be about candles and this and that. If your thoughts is so in tuned with your body and the way you feel what it is your thoughts are, that's all that's all it takes. That's all it takes. It's a dangerous motherfucker, if you ask me. Been there, done that. This is part of the reason why some of you find me, whatever platform you find me on. It ain't nothing to brag or boast about. But when you go through experiences and someone transitions and the next day they coming to you in a dream state, hugging you and apologizing, that's some serious shit now. And this is what I mean about Neptune going into Aries, with Saturn coming up right behind it going into Aries too. See, there's a lot of fucking muggles on this planet that love the spiritual stuff, want to be not minding their fucking business until they meet a real one. These tools, these mysteries of the universe are gifts. They can be used in the most luxurious and loving ways. But if you're not prepared to let go of certain things in your life that's going to intervene with that, take your time with it. Now, if you are encountering someone who has this tendency to act as if you think you know everything, that's your time for you to know who you are. When someone says, oh, you think you know everything, there's a difference between a motherfucker who thinks and the righteous and godly one that knows. There's a difference. And those same ones are going to learn real quick, unfortunately. Some of you with a certain level of power have been in hermit mode for a reason, shedding tears, feeling the collective energy, wondering why you're feeling this heaviness, baby, because you are here with a bigger mission. Once again, you ain't find me or you ain't aligned with this page for no reason now. Especially right now with Mars in the trine to Saturn. Oh, that authoritarian, that strict energy about you is going to be most conducive to you right now. For some of you, if you've been suppressing your sense of self-expression, right now it's coming out in the form of rage. That's why I had to come live. Because some of you about to take somebody's head off their fucking shoulders if they don't cut the shit off. If they don't chill the fuck out. But some of you may have to do that with your words, because you haven't been speaking up enough. Some of you, the way you breathe speaks enough for you. This is all coming through. Obviously, you see that Three of Swords. You learned valuable lessons about relationships. Let a motherfucker come and try you. The biggest statement over here, ignorance is not bliss. Trying is an insult to doing. It's either they gonna do it or they not. If they even continue to do, ooh, some of you got the you got the green light to be. Okay? That God goddess energy that'll sit that ass right down immediately. (4111). That's the information. Some of you have been observing people for quite a while. And in this observation, there's going to be one that perfectly comes back around for you to remove and annihilate that energy entirely. 4144. But you're going to have to be calm and observant for when this energy shows back up. The more aware you are of yourself, you'll notice the type of ancestors that come around you. For some of you, you're going to experience an ancestor that is not to fucking play with. Mercy is not part of their way of being. Not at all. They're going to go straight to it. Some of you, part of your experience right now is to watch certain things unfold. Of people who thought that they could try you. Again, trying is an insult to doing. A motherfucker that think they're going to do something to gaslight you, to have you thinking that you ain't this and you ain't that. Again, a motherfucker that's sitting here talking about you or who you think you are and the one that knows who they are two different beings. This expression, this comes with a conditional love. Because there ain't no in between. Which is why the word like is not used here. Like what? What's the original then? If this is like this, what the fuck is it then? What's the original? Sending so much love to you as well. Welcome all. Just channeling the energy. The moon is in Cancer. Energy is connected to Cancer. You have Yemaya, you have Kali. A lot of the motherly energies. The moon, that's connected to Isis too. I want to see what's the archetype of this energy. Give me a second. The stone and the flame. Some of you come from biblical times. You have a strong past life in biblical times. This evening, goddess. Let's see. The vow and the mountain and the box. The vow, the mountain, and the box is at the bottom of the deck. Subconsciously, some of you have been feeling trapped. Subconsciously, you've been feeling trapped because of a vow you've made. Speaking of past life and the past life. It's a mixture of cards here. What's this vow? Phobia. Surrender your fear of change. Phobias are fears. Food and hunger. Asia could be of significance, or someone's name is Asia. Whoa. Show me. The vow. The vow. The vow. The vow. Phobia and the mirror reflection. Why am I hearing pinky in the brain? But anyway. Oh, one is a genius, the other one's insane. You could either be a Gemini or a Pisces with 20, and it's at 29 degrees. This is this is your last lifetime as that sign. So you would carry a lot of fear from any past situations. Now, because those are the ones with 2, or Libra, 29 degrees. Show me. The vow. This vow is connected to someone that is triggering you. Ships. Some sort of ships. Medicine man, medicine, some sort of death and health. Trust your path. Some of you are legit shamans. Ships, medicine man, medicine woman, health, HMS, MSH, HMS. Those could be someone's initials, HMS. If you knew you would support it, if you knew you were supported, what would you do? If you knew you were supported, what would you do? This is a reason why some of you are not making the changes, perhaps. Or second guessing the change you have to make. Because where you're looking for that support is not where you are to look for it at. That support that you're looking for is already within you. Doing with what you have. You have yourself at all times. Or begin to have yourself at all times. There goes a serpent. For some of you, your fear is triggering headaches. When something is about to come into your life that is for you to remove, there's something going on with your head. Or this person around you tends to have a headache because they either they're aware of this, they carry a frequency from your past life into this life where they have attempted to take you out of or take you away from your path. They were more so of a distraction or a parasite. You dreamt of this person, whoever this is for, you dreamt of this person recently within the past 7 days. 7 lucid moments or days. In this moment, it would be days because it's something you weren't seeing. You were dazed off of. You dazed out on this. And the more spiritually mature you've become, you invited this energy back into your life only for you to dissolve it completely. Without it even being aware that that's what's happening. Now, this will be the part along your spiritual journey where you Not to say that you have a fear or discomfort around being about other people, being around other people, but there's a reason why you just don't go around people. Because you carry, for some of you, you literally carry the energy of a serpent. That you can literally shut someone's conscious mind down and control the fuck out of them, and they think this shit is a game. Think it's a game. Especially those who have attempted to take you off track or misguide you, mistreat you, things of that nature. I said we go in there. Imprisonment, slavery. Some of them could be getting locked up. So that way you can align with your life. Not everybody is who they claim to be. Surrender to divine timing. 5151. King of Cups. Scorpio energy. And the Ace of Pentacles. A new beginning of emotional intelligence is being offered to you if you surrender to divine timing. Which means that you will not be encountering those who have this urge to test you and shit. Because some people that's coming back from your past, those of you with this level of spiritual maturity from the shadow work you've been doing, are coming back from your past and moving in the way that they used to move with you before, and that's the last fucking thing they want to do. It's the last thing they want to do. Because the way one will protect themselves, once again, going back to that cut cord energy or just doing things to protect yourself, people don't realize that if this or them is in this vicinity of this is where the protection goes into play, that's that ass. But there's so many right now urging or looking for a vessel to still be on this planet energetically, looking for a vessel to step into, to still have life or to still experience that life of confusion or to create confusion. Not the fuck over here with this collective, you're not. And nowhere else. That's part of the problem, is that they can no longer take that anywhere else. Now, collective, if any of you in here are the type of energy of a cross watcher, you better you better leave now while you can. Respect yourself by respecting this space. Because I ain't got time for nobody's shit either. Okay. So now let's continue. You got the Eight of Cups here, walking away from that which no longer serves you. Followed by the Page of Wands. For some of you, there is a Scorpio that is coming towards you, or some type of ending that is the message. There is an ending that is the message that leads you into emotional maturity, emotional intelligence. Page of Cups. Wow. A lot of messages. Some of you are you're getting a lot of downloads at this time that's guiding you towards surrendering towards divine timing. The timing is not now, or it's not now because you have yet to surrender your fear of change, which also means surrendering your ego. There goes the Temperance card, which is after the Death card. The Death card showed up earlier with this first card, surrender your fear of change. In order for you to balance the situation out, to become the alchemist, or to change your pain into your power, you're going to have to... Three of Pentacles, let me see. Five of Pentacles with the 2. You're going to have to become clearer about a situation that you have been juggling. There goes the ship right here. There's a lot of turbulence, emotional turbulence, when it comes to a certain relationship that you're juggling. You feeling as though it's something that can work out, but you keep wanting a do-over of something that's an emotional fulfillment, but it's not the 10 of Cups. It's not that. You know this, though. You can feel that it's not. The way that this shows up, if there's something that you felt as at one point that was something you would be able to connect to. Let's say this is a person that you felt as though, oh, this is someone you can marry, and you meet them again after your spiritual maturity. You have this level of disgust now that you even ask yourself, how in the fuck did we even get connected in the beginning? But that was the version of you that was still going through changes. Because it's okay to not, you know what I'm saying? So here's the thing. In terms of that statement that once you love somebody, you'll always love them. Now, as this energy is coming through, that's not necessarily true. Especially if before that love that was being shared was more so a coping mechanism. It wasn't actually love. So if there's something or someone that you fall out of love with, it was never love to begin with. There's that. Okay, there's that. Because you can still disconnect from someone, you know, and still have that love. But there are certain instances where you disconnect from someone and now their dreams stay full of nightmares because they found the right one. Surrender, divine timing. 2, divine timing. The Knight of Wands. This has to do with the move, a change of residence here for some of you. It's going to really help you to surrender your fear of change and surrender this situation, a move. Wow. 23 is significant because it showed up again. The High Priestess with the 3 of Swords and the 2 of Pentacles with the 3 of Pentacles. 23, 23, 5, 5. That's part of the title too, though. So there's definitely a secret that is being revealed to you from your heart space in regards to a lesson where Saturn is now saying, I'm going to lift this load up because now you're prepared to, you know, now you see the balance between the two things. Something that Saturn is gifting you with because now you're able to balance it out. But you're going to have to release something here. Release. Wow. It's reverse. So, with the 5 of Swords in reverse, release this back and forth, these arguments, this tit for tat, this get the last word type of energy that you may still be carrying, or you have people around you that have that type of energy. It's time to dismiss that shit. The bell has rung. School's over. Okay? You learned your lesson. School's over. People that want to have the last word or want to act as if they're right about a situation, 9-9. It's time to put an end to that. There goes, this Hermit is at the top of a mountain, as a matter of fact, what you had here. Something about 9 lifetimes as well. Or the month of September. That's 7. Or serpent energy as well. It's time for you to shed old skin, rise out of a situation here. For some of you, this has to do with a certain type of energy you're used to connecting to. If this has to do with relationships. You got the 3 of Cups, moment of celebration, moving forward, 7, okay. Let me see, 3 of Cups And the Four of Pentacles. This has to do with the legacy. 7 is very significant. July 7th could also be of significance too. 4-7, Mercury goes direct. Okay. So now anything that you've been reflecting on, you now have all the pieces to the puzzle to move forward, to make a decision. This Three of Swords is non-stop. Let's do a Celtic spread, because with this Three of Swords popping up this way, High Priestess card and the Star card. For some of you, there's experiences that are happening right now that's actually helping you accentuate your gifts, your spiritual gifts, or the way you are able to connect with your synchronicities, the messages that you're getting. Your sense of taste could be getting stronger, your sense of smell, your sense of hearing. Some of you have a jinn spirit. You can make something happen in a blink of an eye. That's where Sheba comes in. Hold up. Radical rebirth 5. Shit. Mbuya nehanda. Radical rebirth. Truth. 34-7. At the top. The cards are all over the place, but not really. But you do have, this is wild. Okay. So at the top you have Yemaya. Awakening, your intuition, Queen Nandi. Sheba. Secrets revealed. And it's time for you to level up and shine. Pay attention to when you're seeing 333s or any combination with 33. 313, 331, 323, 33. It's something you mastered. And that other number, let's say if it's another 3, if it's 333, in terms of the combination of 33 and another number, if it's 333, then you're mastering something about your creativity. If it's a 332, you're mastering something about your intuitive connections with partnerships one-on-one, or your level of intuition. If it's 331, you're mastering your connection to the guys that are around you that are helping you towards your leadership skills, so on and so forth. Okay. Or the numbers 345, 534, 435, that combination or that chronological order. So if it's a number that can be placed in chronological order, let's say you see 768, but you can put that in 678. Whatever number is first is what you want to be mindful of. So let's say that chronological order is 678 and you see 768. It wants you to balance out your spirituality so you can bring it down into your body first. So you can bring it down into your body, balancing out what it is that you are connected to spiritually to bring it into your body, which now may even have to do with trusting what it is that you see, even before it happens. Because some of you are getting premonitions too, I'm getting. Current energy is the Ace of Pentacles. So this is a new beginning with your finances, your career, your environment. There's a change in your environment that's happening. Or you could be having a change in your environment. You're finally letting go. You're no longer feeling strapped and bonded. Challenge to that, the Knight of Cups. Something has to come back from the past before you start this new beginning. Because this is something that you felt as though at one point, Knight of Cups, Pisces energy, this could be something that you didn't have any sort of boundaries towards. You just allow it to keep coming in and out of your life, in and out of your life, in and out of your life. But now you're seeing it for what it is, to the point that you ask yourself, how the fuck did you even get here in the first place? It's because you've evolved. You now have the strength. You've actually have taken the journey of putting your hands into the lion's mouth. You have taken the journey of really evolving, but through the fire, putting yourself in the situation to see what it is that you have to stop doing. Because for some, you can intuitively pick it up and let it go. But at the same time, that also stems from a level of physical experience that may have happened over and over and over again. That when it comes back into your life, you now get the energy of, okay, now this is not something I'm going to be messing with no more. Because that ain't it. It literally is a turnoff at this point. Okay, there are ways about a person that you may not have even seen before that's showing up now. As, again, with your spiritual maturity, that's going to come out of the person too. Anything that is around you that attempts to hide a way about themselves that is not in alignment to your path, with your spiritual maturity and authority, it's going to come out of them. It's going to come out of them. But you have to be aware enough to recognize that that's what's happening. And not indulging it in the sense of you getting defensive about when the situation happens, but more so observe it, that even in the feeling of you observing it, and let's say this is a interaction between you and another adult or someone used to, date or whatever the case may be. The moment you start to feel as though you operating in this energy as if you're their parent, it becomes a fucking turnoff. It's that type of energy where it's just on some, why does one have to tell a grown up to do this and to do that? You should already know that you should be doing this type of shit. Just an example. So, what's at the basis of this? The Hermit. You've been in hermit mode for a while. And now that you're ready to see everything for what it is, you ask Source. Someone here ask Source, Source, show me everything I'm supposed to see. What am I supposed to do moving next? The current situation is, we're showing you right now that it's time for you to step into a new beginning. Start fresh. However, there's something from your past, a proposal, a connection of love that constantly gives you an offer, but it's not an offer that is in connection to all that you are. And it's time for you to analyze that, which is what you're doing right now. You're analyzing it. You have the world in your hands. You have the world in your hands is your healing, is ending a situation so you can heal from it instead of dealing with it. Handle it so you can heal from it, so you're no longer dealing with it and coping with it. That's the foundation of your message here. In the immediate past, you got the Lovers here at the bottom of the deck. Subconsciously, this has to do, for some of you, with a decision you have to make. So let's transmute this energy. What was going on in the past here for the collective? The Queen of Cups. You didn't recognize that you had, per se, the Holy Grail. You had the mysteries of the universe, which means you have the keys of life. You have the keys of youth. You have the keys of success, but you were surrounded by people who didn't even know why the fuck they hated on you, but they just did regardless. For some of you, this stems from the connection you have with your mother. That this even led to you even connecting with certain people that you were attempting to fill a void of feeling nurtured, or feeling a void of nurturing someone else because you wanted to give so much of what you didn't receive growing up. So this created a challenge in your relationships. Some of you could be high priest, high priestesses, and shamans, because that is definitely a lesson of a healer, of a warrior, of a high priest, high priestess, God, goddess energy. Mastering, learning to master your emotions by going through those things that's going to test it. Test your love by giving you the complete opposite. In the beginning, they do everything possible that makes you feel as though this is it. Because that's what leads to the essence of someone feeling heartbroken when it's not it. But you also have to experience that just to know what it ain't. So now you can open yourself up to what is, and give more room to what is unconditional love, not that phony shit. Now it's time to see you. You see how you got these Seven of Pentacles? This is Saturn and Taurus right here, as a matter of fact. But you see how this figure here with the orange sacral chakra and the blue throat chakra is standing over this one pentacle, which is your current situation. So what is this saying? Is that some of you wear your sensuality on you. There's people that have been coming towards you because of the level of sexuality and sensuality that just oozes out of your pores. And they just want to know about you. But some of you have this unconditionally loving way of being that you feel as though because they're doing that, this is the person that's supposed to be with you. And that's understandable. But then there's another side to that story in terms of where you do encounter someone who acts as if they see you. And as you evolve, they can no longer communicate with you because y'all no longer speak the language that is the same for you to communicate with one another. So now you're feeling this distance. Now you're feeling this energy where for some of you, it may be something so much so that if this was someone you had to defend yourself from, them hands is being thrown, but they don't got to go that far. I'm just saying. That's how strong the energy can be in terms of how far disconnected you want to be from energies of the past and how disgusted you can be about it. Once you recognize what it actually is, because with the Knight of Cups as your challenge is coming through here as you're now being able to see where you've been giving your love to and people just around you just to be around. But they don't understand the grave, literally grave consequences that come with that depending on the person they fucking with. Because yes, you do come out here to experience a certain life under a certain contract. Some of those vows and some contracts ought to be broken. And those ones that have to be broken are the same ones that want to keep themselves attached to you as a parasite. But don't recognize that you are the one that's going to end all of that in a way that they wish they never even met you before. But for some of you, that experience in your life is actually helping so many other people out here that is unable to even tap into what has to be done energetically. That's going to have a ripple effect amongst others. Crowning this situation, the Queen of Wands in reverse. There's something here. I heard promiscuous when this came out, but there is definitely something in regards to someone's sexuality or having some sort of regret. That's an example of you possibly doing something that you didn't want to do, or you did it at the time that you did, and then you may be second guessing yourself about the situation, but would you have known what you know now doing what you've done before? Some of you feel as though you made a mistake, but that mistake, you see what you feel in regards to you making a mistake, that's helping you make the change. Don't be so down on yourself and feel that though it was a mistake. You could have done something different, but that's not what we're talking about here. This is more so you possibly took an action that you may not have wanted to take. But look at your thought process after doing so. What have you recognized after doing so? Some people have the most beautiful changes and transformations in their lives after going through some sort of rock bottom frequency. That's the essence of an alchemist. Turning lead into gold. Turning your fear into strength. Some of you are in your head about something. That it wasn't in alignment with your purpose, whether if it was now or in the past. Or this could be someone that's coming into your life from the past and you're second guessing it. That's a no-go. Leave that shit alone. If you get this energy of you feeling disgusted about a person, or they say something to you where you just know. Especially for those of you that are spiritually inclined and fine-tuned with yourself, your higher self, your ancestors, you know what I'm saying? From different realms. The most creepiest of beings to people that it may even show up in somebody's dream as a fucking nightmare. Those of you that are that tapped in, when you sense that someone is taking you for a fucking joke, let their ass go. For others of you, okay? For others of you, depending on where you are at in your ideology and philosophy of what a demon is. This is a demon if you're playing Pokemon that you have to capture. You have to get on your King Solomon shit and capture that demon so it respects you. So you may have to go through that situation one more time for that person or that energy to recognize you ain't the one to fuck with. But they also got the right one to get captured. That's what the fuck they want. If they want to get sent back to their maker, then you're the right one. Again, there's never anything you have to do towards that person physically or spiritually towards them. But protecting yourself is all you have to do, because any energies that come up against you, ooh-wee. What's happening next? You moving forward, Six of Swords. You moving forward with the guidance of the universe. You moving forward with the guidance of source. You moving forward with the guidance of your ancestors. In particular, one specific one that's actually putting you in these situations that you may not have wanted to get into because the colors of this figure and the Seven of Pentacles are the same except for the leggings. So this energy here is the one that's guiding your heart. While you were reflecting on your heart, that Seven of Pentacles. So, okay, see, that's the thing with this energy right now. If there was anything that had to come up to the surface for you to move forward, it's coming up now. Which is why it's important not to feel any type of guilt or shame of anything that you do in order to gain clarity. This is where the universal laws come into play in terms of there's no right or wrong, good or bad, there's cause and effect. But you have to be wise enough, mature enough to be able to handle your actions that you take. Be observant enough to recognize what's something outside of you is stating because of what you decided to do and the way that they move. And you recognizing this energy in a way that they may not even realize that this is the way that they're moving because they never moved this way with you. Or they may not even have been around you long enough. And just around this time that they're coming back into your life, they're around you long enough for you to see their true character. So much so that they don't know themselves. And now some of you, this is where it ends in terms of you going back and forth in and out in this situation with somebody. But you have to be aware and observant and patient enough to recognize the way the person moves. So much so that you can move slow enough that if they make a face after you say something, they don't realize that they saw the face that they fucking made, and you question them about the fucking face, they whole face turn white, that type of shit. Especially if the person's around you. When you say something to them and they retaliate or say whatever they got to say to defend themselves, and then they come up with this face like, what the? And they don't recognize that you saw them say that shit. Because see, that type of face right there, personally speaking, that shit gonna get your head knocked the fuck off. The old version of me. Just saying. That's the type of shit when you go to New York. This is why people in New York don't want nobody looking at them. What the fuck is you looking at? And then you want to make a face? But I digress. So that was just an example in terms of especially my fellow empresses and goddesses, if you around a man that doesn't know themselves and they doing all this type of shit that you would expect a female to do, let their ass go. Let their ass go, please. And this part of this message, I'm talking to my warrior divine feminines. The ones that don't take no shit now. The ones that you hear about your grandmothers and your great grandmothers, you know what I'm saying, handling these men in a certain way. Now, I'm not putting out a message in terms of demasculating any type of energy. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, if a person cannot respect you, your energy, especially the divine feminine, the woman, they gotta go. Because you wouldn't be here no other fucking way. Unless somebody says something about, oh, what you need on it. No. That's his story. That ain't her story. That's his story that you've been listening to. But anyway, what's the advice? Not this motherfucker. Yeah. The King of Cups. Okay. Utilize your emotional intelligence is the advice. Utilize your emotional intelligence. Because you know the realms that you have a capability of traveling. This is Scorpio. You have an ability to travel the underworld. You have the ability to travel a realm that most people fear. Which is why most people look outside of themselves and calling out something outside of themselves, not recognizing that that which that they're calling outside of themselves within them, they didn't miss the whole fucking story, are now just dwindling out in life. So now your advice is to trust your emotional intelligence. You travel through these underworlds and people out here fucking with you, apparently, especially past relationships with this Knight of Cups energy. Because some of those energies have a connection to this patriarchal system way of being and wanting to oppress. And now, what do you know? They're fucking around and finding out. Now, from a higher perspective, they're living the life they chose to live, whether they recognize this. And they show up in your realm for you to do exactly what you're supposed to do for you to evolve. They chose a life of a pawn. You're not even on the chessboard because you're not a king or queen in this type of energy. Although you do have the king and queen of cups, but their backs are faced each other. The recent past and the advice with the Knight of Cups. The suit that is connected to it as a messenger is the challenge. So there's an imbalance between that feminine and masculine energy emotionally. For some, stop moving as something that you're not. Straight up. If you're gonna be a king, be a king. If you're gonna be an emperor, be an emperor. But them two are not the same. Tell me more about this advice. High Priestess. And a Strength card. 28. Utilize your emotional intelligence because that's actually going to lead you to great wealth, which is your current energy with the Ace of Pentacles. There's something that's coming back into your life that's going to give you the guts to do what you have to do next. No matter what actions you take, obviously nothing having to do with hurting yourself, none of that. But you could have made a vow to yourself to do something or not do something, and you break that vow. Don't feel guilty or shameful about it, because there's a reason why you broke it, and it's possibly to see the energy of what it is that you're seeing around you now. Because that vow may be more so a defense mechanism. It could even be connected to some type of trauma. It was a vow that was made based off of trauma. So whatever's coming back is for you to break that bond, break that vow, get your power back in the most alchemical way. For some of you, for some of you empresses and goddesses, you might have to become Bilquis in the essence of American Gods, not in the way that she had a loss of her power and control. No, but more so using her sexuality to take her power back. a tantric goddess that takes her power back, which is a whole nother topic because there's so many levels to that. So many levels to that. Are we going into this right now? It's coming through as though some of you are teaching somebody a lesson. You abstain from something just to build your power, to utilize it in the perfect moment, to take your power back, and at the same time, it's teaching someone else a lesson. But all of that comes to your realization after the fact. This is going all the way up and through there right now. Look at this. 5 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Saturn and Leo. When you stop focusing on perfection and just create, Saturn will lighten your load. Something about that here. What's in the environment? Exactly. Ooh, came out sideways. Ace of Swords. But it's coming through as a challenge. Something of your past. A soulmate of your past. Yeah. 6 and the 7 of Swords right next to each other. That's a 7, which is deception. You're now, something's becoming clearer to you as far as the deception that's been happening. But what the person fails to realize is you're not the one to deceive. You're the one that was actually destined to help them out of their situation, out of their actual experience in this journey of life, especially if they have some type of sun energy at 29 degrees, which is their last lifetime as that sign. Some of you moving around here as somebody's maker for real. It's coming through as someone feels as though they fucked up when it comes to you. The stone shows up again. Someone misused their words when it came to you. That's why the advice is to connect to your emotional intelligence, your intuition, the strength that comes with the alignment of both. Because the scales are being balanced regardless. The scales are being balanced regardless. You are in a position of healing, but what's the but for? The tub? What about the tub? Something has to be washed off. Some of you have dreams in tubs of bathrooms. That's definitely something that has to be cleaned up out of your subconscious mind. And whoever shows up there. 94, September 4th. The vessel. The stone, the vessel. Someone is carrying the vessel of someone in biblical times that has stoned you before. So let's say you carry the energy of Mary Magdalene, which means you have a balance between the essence of your heaven or your angels and demons, because she experienced both sides. Whoever this energy is that stoned you, or someone loves to smoke. This is the energy of someone who loves to smoke and can't even think clearly. They can't think clearly. They don't have clear thoughts, let alone think clearly. The way that they abuse the goddess plant, MJ, is the way that they abuse the feminine. Literally. You got the trees right here. Or green. But time is up when it comes to that as well. Because what people don't recognize is that's something that is similar to ayahuasca, but it's not administered by a shaman the way ayahuasca is. The mountain. The same card come out. So an air sign could be significant here for some of you. Gemini, Aquarius. And the storm behind it is the shadow. Someone's shadow is coming to life, coming to the presence, coming to the light, because it was in reverse here. Or someone has been denying their shadow, and when they get around you, that cannot be denied. And if they haven't handled what they had to do with their shadow, this is possibly why you're seeing them in the way that you're seeing them now, where you're sort of disgusted by their energy. The vow. They're the same cards. Keep showing up. What's at the top? The sustainer. What's under that? The forest. I'm getting this energy of someone wanting to hold on to a lie about themselves, but when they get around you, you expose it. You expose parts of people that they want to hide, and which is helping you to determine where these people are or where they should be when it comes to your life. Wheel of Fortune. This is all part of your journey too, though. Which is why you don't want to feel guilty or ashamed of anything you're doing right now, to become clear about what your purpose is. Tell me more about the crowning energy here. With that, yeah. There's something that's been holding you back for quite a bit. And it's actually slowing down the way you progress in life. It's keeping, whatever it was that was keeping you in bondage and you felt that it was emotional fulfillment, it's coming up to the surface for you to see that it ain't. And it's more than okay, because you need that in order for you to move forward. It's understandable that there's nothing in this world that you need, but right now in this message, this is something that you may have unconsciously put beneath the rug, and it's just sitting in your vessel, your home, and it's creating a reality or decisions that you make based up. It's creating an energy towards your core values that's causing you to move in a certain way and make certain decisions that are not in alignment to your higher self. So this has to come back for it to be cleared out once and for all. For some of you, this could be something or someone that you've known since you were a teenager. And they've been moving as though they really and truly cared about you, or whatever the case may be. 9900 on the timer, only for you to recognize now in this divine moment, divine timing, to recognize who they are, what they are, to let them go. Without a word, without a conversation. You've had years of conversations and energy transfers of just thoughts and thinking about the person and them of you. But in reality, it's just full of shit. It ain't that type of shit that's going to help anything else grow. It's just shit. Yeah. This shit been over with. The World card and the Wheel of Fortune. Whatever this energy is, didn't want to end the cycle. They did not want to end the cycle. They wanted to start over and over and over and over and over again. But your cycle, your new cycle, doesn't include them. Your new cycle is between you and the divine. So for some of you, let's say you've been feeling some type of heavy energy, or you've been wanting to cry them tears out, release that. Get them self-dendrites out so they can come out of your body. Because those are cells that need to come out of your body through that water, especially while the moon is in Cancer. And Kali will protect you at this time too. Especially, let me tell you something. Here's the thing. Let's say you're the type of person with dominant Cancer placements, sun, moon, or rising, or your signature chart is the signature of your chart is of Cancer, or your dominant energy is the moon. People don't want you to cry around them and one of your tears hit the ground. Do you know the amount of spirits that's gonna be attacking that motherfucker right there? Especially if them tears are not happy tears. I'm telling you from experience. Do you know how fast? I call it an unnecessary clapback, but it happens because the type of guides and protectors you have around you. You better read the room or get the fuck up on out of here. Asking about a Libra. You go ask Libra. The fuck? Listen, y'all. And no, this ain't no projection of energy. No. I know my role. I know my mission. Because anybody come up in here talk about, oh, you project, oh, now you dash that ass too. There's a reason why I ain't been going live. Because there's energies that have to be handled off of camera for the collective. Just saying. But whatever this is, look at this. Look at this. I'm telling you. What's the outcome? It landed right on top of what's at the forefront of your mind. Gotta see something exactly for what it is and shed that old skin. What the fuck? You got to see something exactly for what it is. You got the Three of Swords, the Fool card, and the Hermit here. You got to see something for what it is. What happened on the 3rd? What happened yesterday here for some of you? Something about yesterday is very significant. That actually initiated an ending. Some of you are going to see why something hasn't been manifesting, or why you are being pulled away from certain people who you felt as though were supposed to be your supporters. Why did this come out of reverse? Let me get another deck. Where is this one? This one right here. Don't allow the life you've lived to put you in guilt and shame. Don't allow the life you've lived to put you in guilt and shame. What energies are coming through for you in terms of, let's say you didn't want to do something. You recognizing that you didn't want to do it is exactly why you did it. You recognizing why you didn't, or what's putting you in this essence of fuck. Why did I do that? Had you not done that, you would have in your subconscious mind, consciously within your subconscious mind, been playing out the scenario of what if. Then now you're able to see why you're not supposed to, or why it's over. because this is not something you can manifest with. Okay? You doing something that you may have felt as though, you know, the devil, depending on your ideology, controlled you or made you do something or whatever. You make yourself do everything you're doing. Let's take accountability now, first and foremost. Greetings, Rhea. So, especially the way this energy is showing up here, there's obviously something that has to come through for you to gain clarity. It's time for it to come back into your life for you to gain clarity. It's coming back around, literally, the world card. It had to come back around for you to gain clarity about this energy. Now you do. So now we gonna alchemize this energy. This is how we transmute this. Because when I place it back on the board, anything that you got going on right now is gonna transmute the energy where now you gain clarity about a situation or a person and why they not supposed to be there. Or why do you get this energy of, why? Outcome. Why? Outcome. What's at the bottom? 4 of Cups. Look at that shit. That's the energy of doing something, but you got your spirit guides guiding you. This is something that you've been holding yourself back from. You've been wanting to do everything righteously, but something had to come back around for you to. Gratitude, Rhea, for the flower. That's the first gift on YouTube. Shout out to Rhea. Okay. Yeah. Shout out to Rhea with the flowers. Y'all know y'all can send gifts up here. This is lit. Shout out to Rhea. That's a main one right there. Okay. Rhea up on here. The sun balloon. Oh, okay. That shit nice. But listen, y'all. Listen. This 4 of Cups here. Again, the message overall, my loves. Let me tell you something. Do not get down on yourself about any actions you've taken while Venus and Mercury were in retrograde. See, that's the beauty of psychology. Some of you could be, go into that. 108-21, that's going to help you really bring something to a close here, especially with your maternal side. Recalibrating the mitochondria. Okay. Male or female, recalibrating the mitochondria, 108-21. Don't be ashamed or feel guilty about anything you find yourself doing with anyone from the past. While Venus and Mercury were in retrograde, because Mercury will station and go direct the 7th and Venus the 12th. Which then Venus will be in a conjunction to Saturn, where now Saturn's going to have a serious conversation with you on some, do you recognize why this has to go? Are you aware now? Do you see where it's taking your spiritual authority and the use of your power away? It's not worth it, other than you seeing it for what it is. It's not worth you holding on to it moving forward any longer. Just let it go. Ooh, and if that person or something or situation is the type of energy to want to back talk you, mind you, my hand is this way. My hand is this way, and I'm as I'm saying that, my eyes went straight to this card. They gonna meet that ancestor that knows this type of energy and is gonna whoop that ass. I promise you. Because people think this shit is a game. Fucking with people who are spiritually tapped in, and these other motherfuckers just spiritually intrigued. Boo-boo, TikTok. Okay, 10-minute videos ain't enough. If a person cannot sit down and watch a lecture that is at least an hour and you spiritually tapped in, they better not fuck with you. And the reason why they better not fuck with you because they answer. Because here's how it goes. Here's the play I got. The shit gets handled, right, in the astrals amongst ancestors. But then now some of you who are spiritually tapped in and have actually helped your ancestors transition a little bit further in the astrals or wherever they may be, 11105, they are so strong that if this motherfucker's ancestors attempt to do anything, now they're bowing down to your ancestors, where now they're getting a message from your ancestors and their own ancestors coming back to them to whoop their ass. You ain't got to do shit. This is what I'm talking about. This is what people don't get. They're not doing enough healing in this realm to liberate their own ancestors. They want to come around, fuck around with you. Okay. Just know when you see yourself in a dream state, slaying some shit, it's going down. It's going up and down. Anyway. Why? Outcome. Because respectfully, I'm done with the collective that can't really sit through any type of information that's more than a minute long. Because most people don't even watch the 10-minute videos that might be 10-minute videos on TikTok. Your attention span ain't even the fuck there. Not y'all. Their attention span ain't even the fuck there. If they only knew the grace. Seriously. And that's the solution and the problem at the same time. The more we hold on to, because here's the thing, when you are spiritually tapped in, and when I say spiritually tapped in, you see where my hands are. You have this connection with your spirit guides where there is a communication where you say, no, it's okay. No, it's okay. Ooh, but the moment you let up on that, it's okay. And you say, man, fuck that. You may not do it because you know how quickly shit will go up and down. But these people, because they're so intrigued, people love magic. They're intrigued by spiritual stuff. Huh. You better be mindful who the fuck you fucking with. Because it's all love. Perfectly stated. If they only knew the grace. Do you know the level of protection you have over you when people fuck you over and you just... This ain't no negative card. The only difference with this is that it got one hand up and one hand down. That's the point that you may get to. You know what I'm saying? After you've recognized that you've went through a transformation. You've tempered yourself, 13, 14. And now this shit want to come up about? Oh. So for some of you, while Venus and Mercury were retrograde, instead of you doing this, you went to this. Now all hell broke loose on that ass. On their ass. Because they thought you was joking. Because a lot of times, a lot of these people know you from the past and they handle you as the version of you of the past. Not recognizing that the past version of you is part of your rite of passage or past age. That if they didn't get their shit together in the way they handled you, Real G's. Real gods. Gratitude for the Sunday. I love the gifts. Gratitude, y'all. Why the outcome? You see it landed right on top of this double card here. Why the outcome? The 10 of Pentacles upright. Okay. Hold on. And the mountains are in this card too. Some of you, a pilgrimage will be an excellent idea. Went to high five gift. Wow, because my eyes originally went to high five gift. Ah, shit. Gratitude for the sun balloon and the high five. That is adorable. So on this 10 of Pentacles, why the outcome? Shit. If y'all remember the 4 of Cups, where that spirit guide was in the background, that Christ energy in the background is similar here. So this is the version of you handling the situation in this earthly realm or in this physical state. But this is also the version of you at play in connection to this version of you, seeing everything happen as it is happening for you to make the appropriate decision, which is why you are being guided to not feel guilty or shameful for anything you're doing right now while Venus and Mercury are retrograde. Especially before Neptune went into Aries. The 31st, was that? The 30th? So either something from 14 years or 14, at the age of 14 or 14 years ago could be significant. 516, 516, 517. Yeah, there's going to be a change in your expression. There's something you say that triggers somebody, a reflection of you that you have completely handled, but it just shows up again just to, you know what I'm saying? Just to double check, but they did a little too much with their own vessel and their own reality, and now they're in a position of fucking around and finding out. However, you are in a position of attaining your wealth, a new beginning when it comes to your wealth. Some of you are going to shift timelines. You're going to go into the timeline of your highest timeline of wealth and health because of this situation, because you're seeing it differently, because you're seeing it in a way that you may have been blocking yourself from seeing it by not indulging in this, not so much indulging into the situation, but in the situation, but getting back to it or reconnecting with something just to see it for what it is. Now, if you notice it's something that is not something you want to go back to, obviously that's not the message here. But this is for those who you may have a trickster spirit around you who moves in a certain way, but don't recognize that you are their fucking creator to an extent. Not in a way to be egotistical about it, but you are so aware of energy that you may have attempted to help this person, but on the flip side, all they did was look at you as if, who the fuck do you think you are? And that's the worst thing they could have ever done. Especially those of you who have a tendency to travel the underworlds too. The Hierophant. Your spiritual knowledge is increasing. Some of you could be getting, some of you, your experiences are so valuable that you're going to have these high-end organizations looking for you to tell your story or to assist them with, for some of them, for some it's curriculum. So this could be a school setting, but you're helping people with a certain curriculum or a plan, lesson plan to an extent. Some of you have literally received your stripes in terms of your spiritual rank going through this situation, because you literally broke a generational cycle just now. This is the Starman deck. The Starman deck. I love this deck. Let me see. Wow, Four of Swords. You'll finally be able to heal. Ashe. Finally being able to heal. Putting things to rest, especially relationships that are out of balance, that you are now prepared to alchemize from lead to gold. You're ready to change your pain into your power with this 10 and this 414. Temperance energy. Some of you, you literally have guides around you that are pushing you into situations that, let's say you made a vow towards yourself to not do certain things, and it's pushing you in this environment because you have the control to get right back out of it. That's obviously not for everybody, okay? Because you have to have a certain level of maturity and awareness to not stay there. You know what I mean? The Hangman. Seeing things from a different perspective. Once again, not seeing anything as right or wrong, good or bad, just the cause and effect. It's a similar action that you took 14 years ago that's coming back around. 14 years ago, 28 years ago. Or this could be something that, a cycle that you're breaking out of based off of your parents, because some of you, depending on your age, you're just now going through your Saturn return. You know what I'm saying? So you're doing what has to be done now to finally break out of it. You're not doing anything right. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything good or bad. You're doing what must be done. In order to transform, babe. Death card. Bring it to an end. See? The key was always within you, literally. Let me see. Lilith. I'm getting Lilith energy now. Lilith. How are you assisting the collective? What is this? Dark Night of the Soul. 33. Calcination. How are you assisting the collective, Lilith? Let's see. Oh, okay. You got 2 cards. 3 and 8. That's a number that's been telling you. How is Lilith assisting the collective? Liberating your truth through sexual alchemy. Lilith in Scorpio, Lilith in Gemini. This is what I mean about taking your power back. Using your sexuality and sensuality to take your power back. That means you're using the serpent. You're using the Kundalini energy. You're using the dragon. That ain't no degular alchemist sorcerer now. It's that type of frequency where you see why something has been in and out of your life the way it's been until you spiritually matured. Because when we look at this as a bigger picture, this is for someone who's you're tuning into a power of the serpent. Okay? Your experience is not for the faint of heart. You cry tears, go through emotions that no one would ever see. Ever. But I see you. I feel you. I know exactly what that experience is. And it's designed that way because of its intensity. Because it could easily be misused. And with Saturn going into Aries, you've been going through quite the test. And if any of you have Saturn in Aries, you about to have your Saturn return, and you found me before that, kudos to you. Kudos to you. Because you're certainly someone with great power, but you don't misuse it. You do what you got to do to protect yourself, and it may come across as if you're doing a little extra. Nah. Gratitude for the gifts, Rhea. Shout out to you, my love. Gratitude, Rhea. Saturn is now 47. What's at the bottom here? You deserve balance. So whatever situation has to come in, it may seem as though it's a stormy event. The storm only comes when something has to be balanced. Some of you are literally experiencing storms in your environment. Channel that energy. And if you are someone that lives along the lines of Tornado Alley the way I do, ooh, that thunder hit differently. That thunder hit differently, okay? You really know what the energy of Shango, that feeling is in that alley. You really get the essence of Oya in that alley. When I tell you the thunder sounds different, imagine hearing thunder while you're asleep. This was actually this rising, 555. It woke me up at 555. The way that thunder rumbled, I felt that shit go up my spine, yo. No bullshit. The way that shit rose up through my spine, and I had a selenite around me. And where my hand moved, it grabbed the selenite immediately. When I say I already knew what fucking type of time it was, I said, okay, we going live today. Mama and Papa said, wake up, baby. You can go back now. You did everything you had to do. Okay. But when I tell you I felt that energy roll up that spine, when I tell you it felt so fucking amazing, but eerie at the same time, I said, okay. The playtime is done. If a person is not spiritually mature, inclined to the information of the mysteries of the universe, and are tapping into it, and they encounter you, it's not something you want to see. Because that is not information for a soulless being. That is not information for someone or something that doesn't have a connection to unconditional love. Anything else? I love you all so much. Just know I'm here as a protector, as a guide, messenger, and multi-dimensional transmuter. Remember, the message is anything that you have done at this moment that you are feeling any type of guilt or shame about, especially if you're someone who is righteous about what your mission is and what your path is, everything, as you know, happens for a reason, and you're seeing the reasons now. And it's all for you to release anything that is not in alignment to your true purpose, that the past version of you felt as though it was connected to. But that past version of you wasn't completely you. It was the version of you that believed in things that you did not know. But now what you believe is being influenced by what you know. Okay? I love you all so much. I will see you on the next live. Gratitude, Rhea and C Main for the gifts. I love you all. Once again, 1:33 on the clock. You're most welcome, Joanna. You're most welcome. Yes, Ashe. I may go live on TikTok where we can have, if you are not aligned with me on TikTok and you have a TikTok is the same as here on YouTube, we can chop it up over there. If I do go live, we'll see how the energy is, because I might just play some music and just vibe out. But yo, be kinder to yourself. You ain't do shit wrong. You did what you had to do. Had you not done that, you wouldn't see all you have to see right now. It's okay. This message is for those of you who are doing everything you have to do to get your power back respectfully. Because everything you do is with love. All right? Ciao, babes.